Hey, welcome to Jokes of the Fandom. This is Black All Might, and I am Black Morgan. And today, this is 1001 One Piece Nights.
That accent. Always spit. Regardless. So we get into the chapter. All these guys are raring to go. Absolutely phenomenal.
These guys are living up to their power potential.
Absolutely.
Even Kaido was stunned by this first attack.
Like, I love the fact that in the previous chapter, like, Big Mom goes, Kaido, what are you doing? One shot isn't enough to drop you. But, right here we have Kaido recognizing Luffy among Odin, Whitebeard, Roger, and Rocks.
Some of the greatest pirates, some of the strongest people in the in known history. They're all dead now. They're the last generation.
But, I mean, these were all the people that he looked up to back when he was an apprentice pirate.
Oh, there is Shanks. Shanks is the only one alive.
Oh, yeah, Shanks is alive. I mean, Shanks is one of the few who could damage him.
Of course Shanks is there. Shanks fought him. Fought him on the way to a war and showed up unscathed 3 days later. Of course Shanks is up
there. But he comes back returning that favor.
Yeah, he's like, I remember you. Here, I got something for you. And it's the move he used on him last time that one-shot him. But Luffy's like, not today, never. And
no. Actually, it doesn't.
Uses his observation hockey. Because it says he uses right there. I saw the future. That automatically means he's using observation hockey. Saw it coming, dodged it.
Yes. However, he's too fast. And he's dripping blood.
He still dodged it.
He managed
to get one shot by it.
Yeah. He avoided a lethal blow, for sure.
That means if he... these guys are put... they suffer from story power. They have main protagonist and his friends. They are going to be able to take some of his damage and grow stronger as they fight. It'll be a fight for... This is showing that it's going to be a really good test for these guys. If the 5 of them can take down 2 Yonko, and one who is unkillable, because everybody's tried. Well, okay, not everybody, but Marines can't do nothing about Kaido. Kaido can't do nothing about Kaido.
That's fair.
The only reason he's doing this is because he's given up on dying, so he's like, I might as well, live in the world while I can, or whatever. Because how many attempts at trying to kill yourself would you attempt before you just got back to life? Just living on.
Right, like you mean like before I'd just be like, screw it, I'll just live.
Pretty much.
Like 5, if I'm being realistic, like 5. If I was really dedicated to my craft, I'd probably give it about 5 times. Because if after 5 tries, how ridiculous. I mean, we won't get into that because, we do not promote self-harm here on Joe's in the Family.
No.
Not at all. But if somebody were to try and take their life, I mean, this man jumped off of a 10,000 foot high Sky Island.
Now, see, that sounds really impressive.
Well, 10,000 meters. That's 30,000.
And that is really impressive. That is a far distance. But Kaido would have been able to reach maximum velocity much lower than that. Because once you hit terminal velocity, no matter what your mass is, you're just going as fast as you're ever going to go on Earth. Or whatever the Earth planet that they have.
Right. And he got up from that going, I have a headache.
One of the best swordsmen.
If you had, okay, so just that. Okay, so falling didn't work. One of the things that we found out in one of the most recent chapters is he has the legendary fish fruit.
Oh.
Or, the legendary fish Zoan or whatever. So, or Koi. So, that makes him our first underwater known devil fruit holder.
That means he can
Does that mean that he gets a special ability while he's underwater? Maybe he can't move, but is there something that he can do with water?
Well, he is a dragon.
Well, right, but the thing is, in lore, typically it's a water dragon. On top of this, it's the only known fish model. So for it to have something special to do with water, I mean, yes, that would make it broken. But the thing is, the person using it isn't unbeatable.
I mean, to be honest, you can just throw them into the water and sure, they can breathe, but now they're trapped underwater forever.
That all depends. We haven't seen what happens with Kaido in water. Like I said, that's the issue.
Halfway point.
Right, but that's the issue with having a fish fruit zone. But I do love Big Mom coming in there hot.
Coming in hot as hell.
Well, see, the problem that Big Mom has suffered is, even though she's coming in like this, I'm not impressed.
Well, that's because we've seen Big Mom get beat up the whole time.
Right, she's been rolled this entire time, and now at this point, I'm drained. I'm drained of Big Mom. Like, yeah, you coming in there looking strong, but what's it worth? And even now,
I think that
you see Zoro coming in there with the Foxfire style. So yeah, like
Foxfire style slice. So you think he's going to use a fire type move? No, he uses a move specifically designed to cut fire.
So like
Zoro, I am waiting for you to show me your true abilities, bro. You can do it.
Well, I mean, there's a point later on in this, but I mean, we are definitely not seeing his full potential. However, with this, it's basically another nerf. You know what I mean?
Zoro just happens to pick up a fire cutting skill because Mom only has a fire spirit left.
Well, no. What I mean is, no, because she was riding on Zeus. The thing is, what is it worth?
Oh, like what's Mom's invested?
Well, no. What is fighting Big Mom worth?
Here's the thing: Big Mom has the grudge, so it doesn't matter fighting whether or not you want to fight her. She'll fight you. She's there. She's fighting you.
I get this. What I'm saying is, what worth does it have? They walked into Whole Cake Island. Yes, they lost Pedro. She lost 2 sweet commanders, leaving her just a smoothie. One of her kids lost an arm. She lost her castle. She lost the entire Fishman army force.
Yeah.
She publicly got defaced in front of the entire underworld by Jimbei. Now Jinbei is sitting on the crew. Jinbei has already shown that he is capable of pushing her back. Zoro is cutting her fire in half. Nami and Brooke are able to do damage to her mobility through their manipulation of weather and the soul's energies. So at this point, just because we have not, we've seen physical feats from Big Mom, but we haven't seen her, physical combat outside of some sword swinging with the Iko Sovereign. Or Spear of Elbath.
Whatever. What happens?
See, my thing is, okay, so you have somebody who's able to cut her fire in half. Nami, who's able to wreck her connection with Zeus. So now you have potentially Zoro taking on Prometheus, or at least delaying Prometheus. Luffy able to go mano a mano with Big Mom, and Zeus under the possession. Or in Tangent with Nami, there's the point where she convinced Zeus to leave Big Mom with the Thunderbolt balls in her rod. The Thunderclouds. So he likes eating Thunderclouds, which allowed her to use Zeus as a weapon. What happens if that happens again? So now Zeus is away from Big Mom. Zoro is able to take down Prometheus. Sanji's even able to do fire attacks. And even if not, Brooke is still able to cut Zeus in half. So that means that his soul frequency has the potential to be able to fight ice to fire with Prometheus. So there are now 3 people on the crew who could potentially fight her spirits.
Yeah, but there's a thing that Big Mom could do that might turn the battle into her favor.
That is, and the only thing there is the combination, where she had Prometheus as her hair, the sword in her hand, and she was riding on Zeus.
No, they're all parts of her soul, correct?
Yes, but we haven't also seen her take anything apart. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is at this point, they have flounced Big Mom to the point where fighting her just seems worth it. Worth the fame, worth the glory, worth the purpose.
She's still a Yonko, whatever.
Well, right. I mean, again, outside of title,
yeah,
that's essentially all that's left.
If these five beat these 2, there's 2 Yonko titles going up, and everybody knows that people will make Luffy. Luffy won't want the title, but he'll get one. And then one of the other 4 won't really care. Maybe the guy with magnetism, he might want it. I know Law wouldn't want it, and sure as fuck Zoro wouldn't want it.
Well, Law, we saw the chapter or so before talking about the fact that he was trying to figure out what it all meant, why he was on this journey, what the D meant. Because we also saw him talking with Robin. That was an introspective there. That was before he showed up on the roof. So, if it comes down to being Kid and Luffy, that would give essentially Kid Big Mom and Luffy Kaido. Because Luffy wants to beat Kaido for Momo. That's his current thing. And he told Big Mom that he would only come after her after he kicked Kaido's ass, so Big Mom's not even really on his radar.
Move forward with it. Move forward with it. Next page.
Oh. But yeah, I just... All I mean is, like, I just don't see the depth, you know what I mean? Like I said, just...
Yeah, if here's the thing. What if they lose? If those two are enough, or somebody shows up in the middle of the fight, who's another Yonko in this mess, like if Blackbeard shows up, it'll turn the fight against the fight.
That is true.
If Shanks shows up, it's a definite win.
Right. I would hate to see...
Unless Blackbeard and Shanks shows up. Then it's a true battle of the Yonko, but I don't think we've seen enough of Shanks to say that reasonably. I do like how on Kaido, after dodging on Kaido's backswing, Law's just like shit, which is cheating, by the way. I mean, it's super handy having a teleportation die, just shink him a lot of damage, and then he just goes and be like, just so you know, I had already planned on moving Newman and the others.
Kinemon.
Kinemon.
Kinemon. K-I-N-E-N-O-N. Yep, Kinemon.
Cultural appropriation time. That's fun. Now, that's a callback to when they got up here and saw the Scabbards all beat the shit because then the Scabbards ain't gonna beat Yonko.
I mean, we got to see them get their licks in, and that gave them their moments to be cool. We all know that toy animation. Looking at you guys. We'll make that look dope. But there is not going to be a whole lot going on with what they did in the manga. Like, they've already got their shot. I kind of hate how they got used. I won't lie, I think that they would have been better if they had been able to take out some of the fodder. Like, yeah, sure, now that there are all these beast pirates running around, and now 9 of the other potentially strongest dudes just... deuces. All the minks. Deuces. So now it's the samurai that they brought, and all of the sub-leaders have already been defeated. I mean, I get it, we have Marco, and we have Law up on the thing, along with Chopper, but who's going to be the white mage?
They don't have a true white mage.
That's what I'm saying. So right now they are now down the 9 leaders they plan to have for
they're not.
plan.
They're not dead.
They're not dead, but they're currently wounded. So like, unless they get up in like the next chapter, and go, damn it, our pride, and wander back downstairs to start taking on foes, they've essentially been useless.
Stalling, sure, doing whatever they could against 2 Yonko.
No, it was just one. They lost to Kaido. All the minks and the Scabbards lost to Kaido.
Whatever you gotta do to wear Kaido down, because Kaido's gonna be one stuff up in the face.
Well, I mean, I guess, I just... But you kind of do, I see what I'm saying. Oh, but hey, the fireball.
He's like, so she's all like, Prometheus, burn them all to cinders. Heavenly fireballs, fires 3 shots of fire. And then Luffy. When I seen this, it took me a while to realize this. And here's the fucking thing. I'm telling you, Luffy's a mad lad. This guy's a fucking genius. Think about it. This guy saw 3 attacks of identical power. And there was 3 of them. You know what he tells them? He's like, okay, how about the first person who touches that is the loser. No. No, it was the first person to die.
Yeah, basically the first. Yeah, basically.
The first person to dodge. Wait. Yeah. The first person who touches that is the loser. Like how I reviewed that TV, so this was a pointless game at a time like this. It is exactly why you fools will never become big shots. Fair enough. You two are the losers then. And this guy convinces two guys to stand there and take this to the face. Right? And he can find out from both Big Mom and the strength of his two allies just how strong they are. Because if he's taking this to the face, he believes he can take it. Because if it wasn't, this is definitely not Kaido's club swing. Right? So he reasonably believes he can take this to the face. So he wants to know if Law and Magnetic guy.
Kid. His name is Kid.
Billy the Kid. His name is Billy from now on. And
his name is Captain Kid, literal pirate.
Billy the Kid. Yeah. Now, the very next panel is by far the greatest art I have seen come out of Oda. It is literally a motherfucking meme. I have got. This is going to be on meme. I'm telling you. It's got the three of them doing this meme face. Just none of them touching it. Just all dodging the whole time, looking at each other. They all just take it to the motherfucking face.
And then Zoro is just pissed off about it. Like, why are you guys doing this? We are here to fight a Yonko. There's no reason why you guys should be doing this.
But here's the thing. Genius. Because they all take it to the face and act like nothing fucking happened. Sure, it burned and it hurt their face, but they moved the fuck on and charged their fucking attacks. Luffy found out that Mom's attacks from that guy aren't that strong, so he can take it to the face. And he knows that his two compadres can take it to the face. And he just watched Zoro cut it in half. The other guy's a swordsman of Zoro's power. Allegedly. Zoro hasn't truly been tested until this shot, where Zoro and... what's that?
Well, he calls him Kamazo because he recognizes him from the laugh, but his name is Killer. And
Killer
he's the right-hand man of Captain Kid. He's essentially the Zoro of the Kid Pirates.
So somebody of Zoro's power.
Right.
Right? And they both... He's got an interesting story, and they use Onigiri and Decapitation Claw. And they are close. They leave us like a mark on his neck. He's impressed. Like, he didn't stop them, like, he blocked, but they managed to get around his blocking. Zoro says he hasn't quite unleashed his sword quite yet. I think he said Enma?
Yeah, Enma's the name of the sword.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta release more of it.
The thing about releasing Enma is that Enma is one of the swords that cut Kaido. Because it was one of Odin's swords.
So he knows that it is proven to have cut Kaido.
Yes.
So he's just got to figure out how to use it. Because if you just let the sword do its own thing, it'll suck you dry.
And then we have the full power-up scene. We've got Kid going Punk Rotten. We've got Luffy going Gear 4. And we have Law starting off his room. And Kaido just sitting there with a face going, bring it! I'm ready for these guys. And even in all of that, Kaido looks at these guys and goes, you know, in all rights, they are little monsters themselves.
Whoa, 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 whoa. This motherfucker just laughing at their faces. He's like, I am definitely going to enjoy it. Let's bring it, guys. Bring it.
So then they all come in. We got Luffy with the Kong gun. We've got Kid with Funk Vice.
Law with tact, and they crush him. Like, they crush him into the ground. Of the skull, right? And then he comes out in full dragon form, and he's like, alright, boys, you have stepped up, you have proven it. It is time to we are getting it today. Like, they proved that they were ready to fight Kaido at his maximum. He transforms into his dragon form and is laughing. He's like, it's such a shame I have to kill you all, but it can't be helped. Once you're dead, we'll take everything you have. All your friends, all your treasure, all of your home glyphs, all of it. Whoever wins this battle takes a massive step towards becoming the Pirate King. Luffy has to win this fight at either now or sometime in the future if Luffy wants to be Pirate King. I think it's a little
it has to be now. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Oda has a thing about doing this whole 2 losses, 1 win style. But I'm not sure if that's going to be one of the things that happens here. And if that is, then I would have to believe that one of the Straw Hats called the Grand Fleet.
That's the only way to keep the riffraff in check. The Grand Fleet will still lose to these two.
I get that. But coming in as a second wind, 5,600 troops.
By the end of it,
essentially all who have been on their own adventures in the time that these people have been doing their 2-island adventure, 3-island adventure, because they went to Zoe. So, I mean, essentially you have to account for the other characters' growth for 3 islands like these guys.
So it's 2 pirate captains and 2 first mates.
Well,
it's 2v2. Well, it's like...
Kind of. It's 3 captains and then...
Yeah, Law didn't bring anybody.
Right. Which is actually kind of interesting. I wonder what the heck happened to Beppo.
Maybe Law didn't think Beppo had it in him.
Unless Beppo was... Wait, no. The island got lifted. So I think what the issue is that Law was already inside the thing. Or inside of Kaido's castle. But Beppo was on the submarine. So they could all be sailing after them to the island. Which, once again, like I said, it would be interesting to see if somebody called the Grand Fleet.
Predictions. If you can give me a I don't want just winners and losers. That's too simple.
Predictions?
Like more pinpoint predictions. Like, is this a fight where someone's dying?
I think that if not now, very soon, this is going to be the point where somebody goes after Law for the sake of his fruit. Because regardless of it, I mean, I don't see it being Kaido, because Kaido's got this whole I don't want to live thing while being a immortal blue dragon. But the Eternal Youth surgery might be something that Big Mom is super interested in. Because it's almost like a science, which is something that she was going to get from the German kingdom. So if she had a child who could do the Eternal Youth surgery, I mean, she's been shown to disband people before. She's even eaten members of her crew. So, I think the person who has the greatest chance of death is going to be Law. I mean, Luffy's definitely going to get it.
But death?
No, definitely not death. I definitely see him taking a big L and then coming back. Like not so big, but like he does something that puts him kind of like the Doflamingo thing. Like he didn't technically lose the first round with Doflamingo. Like, when they truly started going, it kept going, like he couldn't do it, and then they hit gear 4. So, like, the first part of their match and his true first counterbalance was the first round was all the way up until he hit gear 4. And then it was regular Doflamingo versus Luffy's gear 4. Technically not regular because he had the Gamma Knife damage. Yes, everybody I know. But, Luffy was about to essentially win, but he couldn't finish the last hit. And then Doflamingo came back after him, going, "Oh, have you really recovered your hockey?" And then he had to run away because he had to survive because he didn't have hockey for 10 minutes. So, I think that if Gear 4 still has a time limit now that he's learned Ryuo, because I'm not sure if Ryuo can affect like that. But I think it all depends on whether or not Ryuo can change how powerful the technique is, or how well trained the technique is for Gear 4. As far as Zoro, I think it's going to be the average Zoro fight. It's kind of gotta be. The unfortunate thing about Zoro saying that he would never lose again is that he can't lose again. Otherwise, he breaks that vow to his captain. And then I think we'd see an interesting path with Zoro and Luffy. But the issue here is Zoro has to struggle. Everything has to be mid-tier or high-tier difficulty.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Zoro, sure he puts his, like when Zoro used to put his headband on, you knew Zoro was putting his fucking work in, right?
Well,
and now, since the time skip, nobody, even the one who's had to put it on, it's his time for serious, he's still not, I can guarantee you we've not seen even close to his maximum.
Right, but that's the problem. He basically has to be the Superman. He can't lose. If he loses, he breaks his vow to Luffy. To never lose again. The vow that he made at the Barati after being defeated by Mihawk. He goes, "Until I defeat Mihawk, I will never lose again." Which means that if he does end up taking somebody down here, it's going to be mid to high difficulty. Zoro will not fall here. Zoro might be outclassed here, and so he might disembark the fight if told to by Luffy. Like, hey, Zoro, you can be of better use someplace else. I've got this. I'm going to take out Kaido. But
it probably would have had to be Big Mom first. They wouldn't be.
Well, right. What I'm saying is that, because think about it. Even in his fight with Mr. One, first assassin, boom. Okay, so he is basically cut to ribbons, hanging on a pillar, dripping blood, and then he hears he hears his sword, and then he makes the connections with his master's teachings, and then as soon as that's over, he's able to slice rock, and then after that he's able to cut steel. But what I'm saying
a man who wants to cut something can take a sword and hit something he doesn't want to cut and not cut it.
Yes. However, that's the mid to high difficulty. Even when he couldn't defeat Kaku's 4-sword style, it wasn't until he broke out the Ashura technique. Like, it's not that Zoro was losing, it's just that he couldn't get a good opening. When it came to Pika, he had to figure out how to use his observation hockey in a good enough way that he could separate Pika so that he could fight him directly. And then Pika used full body armament hockey and got cut down by Zoro. every fight has to be mid to high difficulty, but he cannot lose because of the vow. And One Piece is all about your word. It's kind of like Naruto's ninja way.
Believe it.
God, I wish you had. So, the only other person who is looking at getting dropped here is Kid.
You don't think his first mate is going to get dropped? He feels
well, no. Killer will probably get dropped, but the thing is, they truly have to get their licks in, because Killer wants revenge for what happened because of the devil fruit incident. And so does Kid. I mean, he was just straight up ambushed by Kaido after being snitched on by Apu. So, either they get part of the glory, or they're considered martyrs. But if they are martyrs, I feel like they'll be Vegetas. Like, we're talking, like, this is One Piece's Frieza moment.
Wow, that took a long time.
What?
Frieza? If this is their Frieza moment, then, and it took forever to get here.
Well, no. Like, I mean, there are multiple fights that are Frieza moments, but I mean, like,
this is a Frieza moment.
Like, this is a Frieza moment, as in
multiple fights.
Right here, this is the Vegeta fight. That is what we are in right now. We are in the Vegeta versus Frieza fight. We are waiting for Goku to ramp it up to Super Saiyan. Like, everybody's there. Everybody will get their licks in. But it's really going to be who are going to be our Gokus. If that's going to help you understand what I'm...
I mean, like, I was getting what you were saying before. You know, but yeah, I understand.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, that is the chapter. Anything that you want to add in? You know,
I think Zoro will be able to cut Kaido. I think that would be his crowning achievement. I think he'll lop a limb off.
You know what I think Zoro's gonna do?
What?
Like and subscribe.
Shameless plug.
But that's all you got? Nothing for Killer? Nothing for Kid? Nothing you want to add on there?
Well, see, Kid does excellent damage, but his defense, sure, his ability and the way he's using it is pretty impressive. He made himself like a mech suit, right?
Right.
Problem is, he kind of left himself a squishy centerpiece.
Okay.
So, and since he's essentially I'll say younger version of Magneto, but he has Magneto powers. Here's the thing about magnetism as a superpower. It's very time consuming because you're using it all the time. When you're fighting, like, see, everybody, like, Zoro is in his, like, weapon stance. Like, the swordsman, they're prepared to fight. Or, like, Luffy's in his transformation, but, like, that's a transformation he can hold. Magnetism is a little bit harder because it's always pulling against you.
Right.
So, I think he'll do well in doing damage, but I don't think he'll do very well against. He won't do very well against Kaido for very long. I think he'll be able to he'll help defeat Big Mom.
Okay, here's my thing with Kid. Now that you mentioned the soft, squishy part in the middle that I hadn't taken note of. He's toast. He might be the first to drop.
His first mate seems more likely.
Well, no. I'm not saying that, like, he will lose. I'm just saying that his mech suit will drop.
Yeah, he'll definitely get hit out of it.
Because here's the thing. Even if Big Mom stays out of it, Kaido has blow breath. Out of everybody who has dodge ability, that guy is screwed.
But he also has the power of magnetism, so he can just use his metal bits and go, and hopefully stand that attack.
Well, yeah, I mean, or he could, essentially try and drop it. But the thing is, it's also kind of been connected like a mech suit, which is sort of a problem.
Yeah,
because then it has to be reconnected. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but see, the cool thing is that I don't know how well he's going to do, but he can literally throw his fists like a rocket at things.
Oh, that's fair.
And even if it explodes on impact, he can pull it back together. And
it all depends upon his range. That's the thing. We haven't really gotten to see Kid fight. Kid is the one of them that hasn't been there. But you want to do our outro so that we can...
Well, this has been Jokes and Fandom, and like and subscribe and things. So, see you next time. Wait, anything in the future? We're going to be keeping up with T-Grass. Yeah, that one time I got reincarnated as a slime.
And we will this week be doing the Dr. Stone. We're going to do that in sets of 3 just because of how the plot progresses.
It's a lot of learning how to build shit and then a little bit of overarching plot.
Was that necessary?
Well, they too are in the early stages of their society. So, like in the manga, they're in America, but in the anime, they're only...
Spoilers, dude.
You can cut this out.